Okay, we'll begin the official meeting of Southwestern Regional EMS Council, April 3rd, 2024. Do we have a quorum?
We do.
Okay. Can we get an approval, a motion to approve the last meeting's minutes?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
I haven't been able to second anything for 4 years.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, treasurer's report.
Again, we had no expenditures or receipts since last meeting. I just received this evening the treasurer's packets and information, so we'll have hopefully a better report next meeting.
Thank you. Enforcement notifications.
Faster.
I know. You want me to read it? Year effective 3/18/24, civil penalty of $2,000. 10 NYCRR Part 816A13, Ryan Gittins of Brooklyn, New York, EMT number 419796. Surrendered effective 3/7/24, violating Part 815A2, Jeffrey Ashdown of Modena, New York. EMT number 346727. Sorry. Suspended for 1 year effective 3/11/24. Suspension is stayed. Placed on 3-year probation effective 3/11/24. Assessed a civil penalty of $1,000. $500 is suspended pending probation for violating Part 800.16A10. That is Amanda Van Heemstead Obelt of Salisbury Mills, New York. EMT number 474737. Suspended for 3 years effective 3/4/24. The suspension is stayed pending successful completion of 3 years probation. Assessed a civil penalty of $12,000. $10,000 is stayed pending successful completion of probation for violating 816A1, 816A2, 816A3, 816A9, 816A11, and 815B1. That is Mackenzie Nicole in Baldwinsville, New York. EMT number 441429. Revoked effective 3/18/24. Assessed a civil penalty of $5,000. Violating 10 NYCRR 816A13, Arnaldo DeLees Jr. of Brooklyn, New York. That's EMT number 477062. And I got one more, I believe. I realized I printed the ones for the last meeting and then we didn't end up meeting, so, but that should be it for everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Old business. Anything for old business? Okay, moving right along to new business. We have appointment for the State EMS Council. Mickey Fornes is currently on there, and Dr. Walters is on the CMAC.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Dr. Walters.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Take action on your appointment, Mickey?
Was that just for Dr. Walters?
That was just for
Just
Dr.
for
Walters.
Walters.
So now we
Need a motion.
need a motion to appoint Mickey.
I will make a motion to reappoint Mickey Fornes as our representative.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Todd Reisner as our representative.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Just so you-
Would you?
Also,
How
I
does it
guess-
work? How does it work?
we have
for-
to submit two.
We have to
Yeah.
submit 2 names. And how do they get submitted?
We just submit the resume.
It's just a letter.
Yeah, no, that was a bad question. Do we submit like a first choice, second choice, or just both names and they pick?
Both names in the council picks.
The state council?
I think the state did.
I
Correct.
thought it was the state,
I
Correct.
think the state
The
did.
state,
I don't think it's the state council, I think it's like someone in
Let
the.
me grab the letter.
Somebody in the office.
Yeah,
Is that Henry?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's anybody that knows us.
Put your name in the hat.
Can't remember who did it last time.
Mickey and Todd.
Yeah, I mean, we may have wrote the letter saying our first choice is, and, I mean, you're not asked to do that, but I think that's the way we did it.
And what we've done in the past is I've been the primary person and Todd has been the alternate, so.
I thought you could
Still
pick,
works out
because Onion
super.
picks, right? And Onion, we pick who
Okay.
the seat is and who the alternate is.
That's the commissioner picks.
Yeah,
Oh, the commissioner picked.
The statute requires each REMSCO to submit at least 2 nominations, therefore permitting the commissioner to select the appointee. After discussion with DOH Division of Legal, we've been informed to bring the SEMSCO back into compliance. We are to require each REMSCO to submit at a minimum 2 nominations.
And it also, it gets complicated when the vetting procedures come into play. Mickey has been vetted, she sits on the council. It's my opinion that we not upset that apple cart until we have to.
It'll be next time.
I know it.
but I think, Alicia, I said, we could write that Mickey would be our first choice and.
That's what
our
we did
alternate.
originally.
That's what I thought.
And I think, how long did it take you to get vetted this go around?
Like 8 months.
So we,
Yeah, months,
so we have a seconded motion on the floor.
2 of them.
We,
Yeah.
yeah,
You can only do one at a time.
two, right? So I guess we should act first on the first motion for Mickey Fornes to be the selected,
Reappointed?
reappointed. So I guess, should we do a show of hands, ballot? How would the committee like to?
The letter references that you have to submit at least 2 names, so it doesn't, we don't necessarily have to have 2 separate motions. But I think
Well, I
we
think the
should,
problem that we have is we have 2 motions on the floor as a rule of order. You know what I mean? So we have 2 motions on the floor. We have to act on the motions that we already have.
You're gonna bring them both forward.
Yeah.
Vote on this one first. And then
Okay. All those in favor of the first motion of Mickey, say aye.
Aye.
All right, anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 2 opposed. Any abstentions? All right, that motion passes. So the second motion then was to appoint Todd. So we will have to vote on that, which obviously should reflect a no. But all in favor of Todd?
Can I ask a question first? So are we voting to send the second name?
Well, we,
You have to send both.
yes. I think my point of struggling here is that we have 2 motions that we had. Mickey, a motion, a seconded motion.
Well, to me, we were really having an election, so we had 2 people nominated for a position, is the way I look at it. It wasn't 2 different motions, it was
So
just,
do we want to
there's
amend?
one position, and I was suggesting an election between Todd and Mickey.
There's 2.
We have to nominate 2 though, right? We have to nominate 2 people.
So does somebody want to amend the motion to have Todd as the second?
Baker has to amend the motion.
Who's Baker?
I'll
Maker,
accept
the
it.
maker of the motion.
Baker's not here.
Dan? you-
I'll accept the amendment.
Okay, so the motion is to have Todd as the second appointment.
are we still in discussion before we vote?
Sure.
So, historically, we've struggled with, and not that Mickey and Todd are not I'm not saying that, but historically, we've struggled with getting people vetted. The process of getting a voting member vetted has been difficult. So if Mickey is looking to step down after this time, maybe it's time to get Todd vetted now, because Mickey will still get to vote until the point that Todd gets vetted. If this takes us a
Which is
year,
probably a year from now.
right, if we're talking a year to get vetted, and Mickey chooses to just not go, she says, I'm done, I'm not gonna continue to go, then we lose that vote
Right.
until Todd is vetted.
That is true, because Walter had to go with us for almost years.
Yeah.
Can we vote? Because the motions don't, Dan's original motion before you amended it was just appointing. There was no preference of first choice, second choice.
Right.
Can we make a third motion to make a preference of who it is? The preference, if we're gonna write the letter that way?
Sure.
We
Sure.
can split whatever type of letter.
Get
Yeah.
the two motions off the table first.
Then we got
Make
two
them
people.
first.
Yep.
We got two people that are choices, and then make
A motion.
a motion to who is the
Swap
Yes.
them.
the slot them in order of 1 and 2.
Correct.
That would clear up the,
Are you making that motion?
well, Dan
Well,
has
we
a
gotta
second.
finish the
Oh,
second.
he's-
We got lots of-
You have a motion, you have Dan's motion originally
Yeah.
without the amendment.
You want me to withdraw mine, or you want
It's up to you.
I would suggest we withdraw all the motions and start over,
Yes.
only because we can't have more than one motion. on the
Right,
floor.
right.
Okay. Bonnie's loving our first meeting in a second.
Yeah.
That's why a tape recorder would
You
work.
can't withdraw the first one.
Yes.
though, 'cause we voted.
So we used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The one for Mickey you
So
can't
we've-
withdraw. But Dan can
withdrawn
withdraw
the
his
motion.
motions.
What's that?
I don't think you can withdraw the one for Mickey because it was voted
That's already
on.
It's already voted.
So you have to redraw both of yours, withdraw both of yours. Your
Your
first
motion.
and your amended one, you withdraw those.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and you would like to,
I would make a motion to appoint Todd to the state council, as recommended to the state council.
okay, second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thanks, Tom.
Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
So what did we do?
So
So now we have Mickey and
I was
Todd.
gonna say, do we need a?
So now we need a motion.
Somebody has, we have to discuss who you want, or make a motion and have discussion of who is,
Just so we write the
Discuss
letter
point.
properly.
Right,
Right.
okay.
I'll make a motion that since we voted to put both of them to state council, we recommend Todd as primary and Mickey as secondary.
As an alternate.
As the alternate.
Okay,
I'll second.
And that will start the vetting process.
Yes.
So this time next year, we might get one.
Yeah.
I would second that.
Protects our vote in the meantime.
So we got Bill and
Okay.
Gary seconded.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. Any other new business?
Yes, I'm assuming you're resigning from your current position?
Who are we talking to?
Okay,
About.
I'm talking to him.
here's the deal. I'm retiring from my job at MTS
Again?
again.
That was him, not me. I was
To
thinking
take,
about.
Sounded like Donna.
it's gonna take effect within 3 months. I would like to stay on the council as an at-large person if that's possible. If not, I can just remain as a delegate from the county, but assuming they want me still, but
Today, he's a county recommended, and he wants to change to at-large. So what really needs to happen is
why? Why would he have to?
he wouldn't have to, that's what he
I
asked.
mean, he doesn't have to do anything, does he?
If you move to at-large, you don't have to
But-
get reaffirmed.
He wants to
Right.
move to at-large, so we would have to accept his resignation from the county recommended position. And then I've got an application from him for the at-large position.
That's open because of May. Because May Stoudemire resigned, correct?
Yes,
Okay. This is correct. That
So
makes
this
sense.
really just
That
removes
makes
the
sense.
county's
yeah,
responsibility
County
to
needs to
appoint him.
Appoint him.
when
Yeah.
this term is, his current term would be up.
right.
So first I would move to accept Dan's resignation from the county appointed, or county recommended position.
Second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions?
And I have an application for membership from Dan Marsh. He's applying for an at-large position. I have it on good record that he's been pretty faithful in his attendance at the council. So I'll move that we accept his.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions?
And now that he's appointed, he is wishing to make Kevin Walters his alternate, which is just a notification. We don't have to vote on that.
All right,
And just for clarification, do we need to send a letter to the county letting them know that they have to appoint somebody?
Yes,
I don't know if that needs to be in the minutes or not, but I just want to make sure we do that. Yeah.
normally
Yeah,
what
they
I
take
do
forever.
is just send an email. So you can either send a letter or I can send Bonnie an email, so they now got it.
You want to send the email, go for it.
Yeah. If you could send the email, because I'm not sure how their structure is right now for the county.
Because there was
I
no
don't
last
either.
year, and now there's.
So I'm just afraid you're gonna have an opening. 'Cause
Well, technically, they have now 2 openings.
There are other one. Who's the other one?
Did they reappoint Kay yet?
Probably not.
We never got Kay Bushman reappointed because we never got a recommendation from the county.
Oh, well, that's, okay. You'll get that in the mail because it was done.
Oh.
It didn't get mail.
You can
So
just-
right now, it's, there's 2 open county positions. One is Kay, and the other one is Dan's vacated position.
So is there anybody from Jones represented?
No.
I mean, Sandra might be a good one. She was on when she was at Olean. Yeah, and since she's their director of nursing over there, she might, I'm just throwing that out.
Okay.
It would be nice to have someone from Jones, I think.
We've, for years, had somebody from Jones.
Yeah, we have Mona.
I would agree. But I'll get with you.
Okay. Any other new business?
I remember what I was gonna bring up earlier. It's just more of an information piece. We've been fielding a lot of questions along with the health department about the amendment to Article 30 or 3000F, which is the requirement for youth groups and youth sporting groups and summer camps to have AEDs and CPR training. It was a new legislation that passed. I don't know the exact date, but sometime late last year, which requires town recreation programs to have AEDs now, or at least access to one. And also any organized team activity or child sports, which is like defined in the article as 5 or more players participating or something like that, or 5 or more teams. So just an FYI, you may be getting a lot of inquiries from
Yes, we are.
sports
Yes, we
teams
We
and
have,
Yes, yeah, we are.
youth camps for CPR and
Yeah.
AED, and which would result in PAD notifications. So just a thought, if as an agency, if you get any,
yeah,
direct
we're
them to
filling them with
resources.
Narcan.
Yeah, that works too. So I know our health departments, especially as we get ready for permitting summer camps and recreation, town recreation, that's gonna be a huge thing. And I believe there's been little push on that, at least that I've seen.
I've been sending all the people that contact for that lady that you gave me from cardiac health or.
Oh, cardiac lab.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Whenever,
we have had a lot of people reach
Oh,
out.
yeah.
because they'll ask where they can buy one. I'm like, just call her.
So there's,
We've been sending her a lot of business, probably.
but you're gonna start hearing more on it.
Does that mean every little league team is
Yeah.
gonna have to have an AED?
Yeah, they have to develop an AED implementation plan,
It's
which
not,
shows they have access to it.
it's not every team,
The league.
but if you had.
Every game.
A field, every game that's on that field has to have an AED at.
Okay, but practices don't then.
Oh, no, practices do.
Yeah, practices count. And they have to have
So,
staff trained.
so if you've got 60 kids, you gotta have 5 AEDs if they're
No,
all practicing?
Well, if it's 5 different fields.
Yeah,
There's some language, read it, it's right on
You couldn't
Article
afford
Article
that.
30. It's, it talks about, it's really well defined, and you have to submit a plan that says, we're gonna have AEDs here. Now, they did say if you're at a school, if you can have access to the school to get the AED in, I don't know if it says a reasonable amount of time or something, then that would count. But you have to show that you have a plan to get that. You can't just say it's in the school.
So you might be, and I'm just throwing this out, put it in a concession stand for those 5.
If they're all within.
If they're all
Yeah,
within, I'm thinking of
Right.
Cornish Park,
Right.
So depending on where they're playing.
It's right, if you go on the Bureau's page and go to Article 30, it's part of it, it's right, or Section F, it's right there. So,
Quote, each camp and youth sports program shall maintain a record that such camp or youth sports program possesses at least one automated external defibrillator. End quote.
and then it talks
So it's
about,
not every team, it's
It's a
every
league.
little league.
and where they're playing, I think, doesn't it say something about that? Like, that's part of the plan if you scroll down a little more, I think. It says you have to provide a plan that, and it lists like 5 or 6 conditions.
And the other thing that changed sometime within the last year and a half was the health clubs and gyms. They lowered it from 500 to 50.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so, because we've got a couple of small exercise places that for the 500, they didn't qualify, but for the 50 members, they do.
Just something to be aware of, especially we're getting to baseball season.
Okay.
And I just got one thing to add to that Chautauqua County. Part of the reason we're doing so much planning is we have 50 plus scheduled events in Chautauqua County, which we think is quite a bit. And we questioned a couple of them if they were going to be part 800 or part 18, and they said no. The other thing, it'll be a busy day for airports. Our airport has already booked 200 airplanes coming in that day,
On Monday?
on Monday.
No. You would think they'd be wanting to come in like
Right.
on Saturday and Sunday.
couldn't
It's probably
get a room.
leapfrog.
Yeah.
You're watching it one place,
Oh,
another place to
yeah.
watch it again.
Okay.
Must be nice.
Bill, you had something?
Yeah, there was an article in this morning's paper in the Comptroller of State of New York, Monopoly. Headline is Comptroller, State Health Needed to Solve EMS Challenges. And it goes 3 columns in the paper. It talks about the number of EMS people in the counties that are providing ambulance services. But it's like, okay, well, at least someone's paying attention to all of it.
There's a good report. He did a full report on that.
Yeah, but it's,
80-page report.
The comptroller did put out a report.
yeah.
So if
and
you
it
haven't
it made the paper
seen
this
it,
morning.
yeah, you should download the report and read it.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I just wanted to maybe add some color onto what Don was talking about. And it's my understanding these EMS task force strike groups, whatever you want to call them, if something's going down in Buffalo, they're not going to be drawing those resources from that zone.
Correct.
It's going to be other zones that are going to pull resources into wherever the incident is occurring. And I think there's some logic behind that.
No farther than one zone away or something like that.
Well, no, generally what we try to do, so, I mean, the state mobilization plan, both on the fire and the EMS side, talks about within a county, the county should be looking for mutual aid resources within the county and contiguous to the county. So when we go out and we survey, you see us send out the surveys and so forth for these different events, we look at agencies that are outside of those 2 categories, right? So it'd be a similar type of approach in that particular circumstance, where if it isn't something that's immediately instatable based on the inter-county, agreements and such, once we step to the state side, then we look for outside of that circle so that we're not trying to impact that circle. Because, the reality is if there's an event in Olean and we pull every single ambulance that's completely surrounding Olean into the event, now I have no ambulances to support those areas. So, if I leapfrog 2 rings out, I can bring resources in. Now I've got some cross coverage situation in that particular circumstance. So that's kind of the mentality behind it, is to do that. And we've done that with all of our surveys that we've done. So these resources we're bringing in for the eclipse and so forth, to the path of totality are coming from outside. Many of them actually are coming from far downstate. Just happens to be where they responded from. But there were agencies within the path of totality that responded and said, hey, I want to volunteer to go someplace else.
They were probably smarter than the rest of us.
Okay. Any other new business?
Is there an August meeting? It's not at the bottom of the.
There is. It's a typo. August
7th.
7th. Okay. Our next meeting will be June 5th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Again, motion to adjourn.
All right, second.
Under the question, Mr. Chair, can I ask for a moment of silence for Mrs. Kuhn? Bobby lost his mom and so forth, and I think Bobby's a huge part of the council and what goes on down here, and we've all lost people and such, but I think that was a pretty heart-wrenching experience for him, and I'd like to ask for a moment of silence on behalf of the council.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman.
Great.
Well, honey, that's how the sausage is made.